Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sensei. Say what now? And today we're gonna just get into teaching. So this first story, it's pretty long. It's from r/slash teaching in Japan called "I have retired from teaching English." So this should be interesting to hear a perspective of someone who has been working their entire adult career. I was gonna say entire life as an English teacher. Could you imagine a baby teaching English? Like fresh out the womb, baby. Anyways, let's get started. I have retired from teaching English. I've been anticipating writing this for well over a year. Apologies for the length. That's alright, buddy. The longer the better.
That's what she said.
I've over 8 years worth of stuff to condense into a few paragraphs. Oh, 8 years? Oh, I'm kind of close to that. I'm like 6 years in this game, and I'm ready to go. But when he said retired, for some reason I thought he was doing like 45 years in this. But from my understanding, actually no, I can't complete that thought because it doesn't make sense. Anyways, I've been a teacher at various eikaiwas in Japan for over 8 years. I came here when I was 23. This is a young buck. And worked at GABA for 2.5 years. My time there sums up the industry. If you don't know about GABA, just Google. Because one thing I'm not going to do is talk about GABA. Or pretty much any other eikaiwas, for example. But, except for the first story, Tadaya's. Because I've never heard of it. But GABA is like the top infamous ones. So, I digress. I worked really, really hard. I was in the top 10 for first meeting success rate company-wide for 6 months of my second year there. That's what's up. First meetings are basically selling lesson packages, only to be judged by my lowest ratings and have that used as an excuse to keep me on the lowest belt/pay grade. They act like they're running a conglomerate in Silicon Valley, not a little English school. Well, excuse me. I don't know if y'all heard about GABA, but yeah. I don't work at GABA. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't work at GABA. But GABA is very infamous. So, okay, they're pretty much going to talk about GABA. Eventually, the head of the school told the staff to stop recommending new clients to me or assign me LPAs. I don't know what LPA is. Etc. And I was forced to seek a job elsewhere. I know this because my wife was a counselor there who told me she was prevented from putting a lesson on my schedule. Oh, dang. From my understanding, a lot of people have met their spouses at, like, work. Well, that is a common thing for, at eikaiwas or just at schools or whatever. I applied for another eikaiwa, Berlitz. I've heard of Berlitz, but I haven't heard anything like terrible about it. Well, he's finna tell us. And started there in October of 2019. Oh my god, I came here September 2019. That's crazy. Where the majority of senior teachers were paid more and worked less. And we full-time instructors were given 8 to 10 lessons per day, every day. Now, I used to think 8 to 10 lessons was ridiculous, but I work up to 9 lessons, which is still ridiculous, but it's not like bad. And I do like 9 lessons twice a week, and I do 8 lessons once a week, and I do 5 lessons once a week, and I do 3 lessons once a week. My workload is actually very light, and yeah, for him to be talking about Berlitz, the senior teachers work less. I work less by choice. Okay, I work less by choice because of my contract. I can do what I want. I can do what I want, how I want to do it. I digress. Then COVID came and I learned a valuable lesson. Job security is an illusion. My contract, along with several other members of staff, was not renewed because the company wanted to save money. The union of which I was a part didn't want to fight for me, and I was forced to look for a new job elsewhere. Oh, that sucks. I went to well, actually, let me go back to that. That sucks about the union because, like, when I first started working here, the union was, like, really on my back to, join and pay dues. But as an independent contractor, they they can't really do much for me. Like, I'm not a contracted employee. So after like a year of paying dues, I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting money. This is like insurance that scams you. In my case, it was like, it felt, oh, I'm so sorry. It felt like insurance who scams you. You got to pay so much money. Well, insurance is a scam anyways. Not health insurance, at least not in Japan. It's not. But like car insurance. Car insurance in America is. I digress. We gotta come back. Focus, nostalgia. I went to One Up, which was worse than GABA. I've never heard of One Up. That's crazy. Same Itaku Gyomu BS. What is Itaku Gyomu? Let me see. Itaku Gyomu. I know Gyomu Suba. Meaning. Oh, business entrustment is defined as an activity in which a client enterprise for the business purpose entrusts business such as manufacturing with goods, creation of information-based products. Oh, like sales, I guess? Sales? Basically worse than GABA, same Itaku Gyomu BS, but with a lot more power harassment. Oh, that sucks. I was also constantly criticized for my nationality by one of the head instructors, the Spanish-American guy from Reno, Nevada. Every one of my what is this word? Idiosyncrasies? What? Is this man speaking English? Wow, it's a real word. Idiosyncrasies. Let's see if we can hear this.
Idiosyncrasy.
A mode of behavior or a way of thought peculiar to an individual, or an abnormal physical reaction by an individual to a food. Oh, okay. No, it's not number 2. It's a mode of behavior or way of thought peculiar to an individual. Interesting. All right, let's start that over. I was constantly criticized for my nationality by one of the head instructors, the Spanish-American guy from Reno, Nevada. Every one of my idiosyncrasies, so basically his like character trait, was linked back to being British. Oh, is that why he know these big ass words? JK, I'm American. I know some big words too, okay? Like, humongous is a big word.
That's a big word for Elmo.
Ciao. Anyway, so, despite the fact that he didn't know the difference between Britain and England, there's a difference. I take back what I said about being American. He never criticized the attractive instructor from Scotland for being British, but I'm sure it was because he thought British and Scottish were different. I was reprimanded for evaluating a student's English too honestly. They set me down for 30 minutes of my unpaid time. Yikes, on a bike! Ain't no way. Well, they've tried to sit me down, but I kind of did that like, as they were talking, I was like slowly putting my coat on. It's like, I am so sorry. Can we continue this conversation walking to the door? Because I gotta catch a bus. Well, after I catch this train, if I don't catch this train on time, I'm gonna miss my bus and I'm gonna have to wait. It's freezing outside and I'm gonna have to wait for like 20 minutes. And that's pretty much how I dashed up out of there. Ciao, anyways. Okay, yeah. So they set me down for 30 minutes of my unpaid time and was told I needed to always level up at least one element of their English to keep money coming into business that wouldn't even pay to hire me as a real employee. See, I don't like that. So you basically lie. What if they didn't improve from the last lesson? What if they didn't improve in that lesson? Now I'm lying and like geeking them up about something that is not true. And I understand, like, you know that, what is that? False prophecy? No. Self-prophecy is not what I'm thinking about. But I guess if you blow someone's head up long enough, they're going to believe it. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. But they're doing it from a money perspective. Like, they're trying to make some money, which I understand as a business perspective. But doing it feels so icky because I've had to, like, do something like that. And it just feels so icky. I feel like a scumbag. Anyways, they threaten you with a 300,000 to 600,000 yen fine if they sponsor your visa and you quit within 6 months, which is illegal. I was about to say, that sounds illegal AF. I'm sure I'm sure, but I stuck it out, and as soon as I was able to quit, I did so without notice. Finding you is crazy. What? I think this is called One Up. Y'all, if anybody is trying to come to Japan, don't go to One Up, because they just don't sound legal. Like, they sound like a company. Well, most, if not all, of these companies take advantage of English speakers, English teachers. They pay us little to nothing. But I've been working here for a long time, so I get paid a decent amount. But if you're new here, they're gonna work you like a dog, a dirty, dirty dog with fleas, and give you a couple crumbs, and that's it. So yeah, I would stay away from this school if I were you. Anyways, then I moved to a small kids eikaiwa owned and run by a racist old Chinese lady who couldn't speak any English. Damn. And was the sole manager there. So despite the job post that was written in English asking for basic Japanese preferred, I had to communicate everything in business level Japanese, which was especially trying on an occasion in which she breached my contract and I needed to explain in Japanese why what she did was illegal. Like One Up, eikaiwa, everything I did that she didn't like, she attributed to my nationality. That really sucks. That really sucks. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that, OP. Those are just the schools. There's also the nature of the job itself. Being asked, why did you come to Japan? Or told, I think you love fish and chips 5 to 6 times a day, 5 days a week for 8 years is so destroying. Yeah, I will say, like, the first few years of me working here, I got asked, why did you come to Japan? What brings you to Japan? Why Japan? And every time I made up a different story because I was too ashamed to just say I was convinced to move here and I had no interest in this country. But here I am, and they would have been looking at me like, huh? So here are some of the stories I would tell students. One was like, oh, I've always loved Japanese culture. Like, from temples to shrines, everything is just so beautiful. And I wanted to experience it in real life. And now that I have, I'd never want to go back. And another one was like, oh my God, I love Japanese food. Anything yaki, I love, which is true. I love yaki food. Okonomiyaki, takoyaki, yakiniku. I love yaki food, but I didn't love it until I moved here. I never had it before coming here. And then I would also talk about Japanese architecture. Oh, I love Japanese architecture. The way traditional buildings looks are just so fascinating to me. So I think those are 3. And then another one, I said one of my friends visited when we were in university, and he just talked about it, like how amazing it was. And I was like, excuse me. Excuse me. He talked about how amazing it was, and I'm like, oh, yeah, shout out to Javian, because I used him a lot about this when he came here. And he did have a really good time, but even after telling me, I was still like, oh, that's what's up, okay, cool. But I'm telling my students, yeah, I wanted to experience it because he had such an amazing time. And I think I just rotated those 4 stories, or those 4 reasons why I wanted to move here. And it does become annoying. And now these days, I haven't used that when I meet a new student. These days I say something like, well, what did I say? I've always been interested in Japan, which is also a lie. I've always been interested in Japan. Oh, no. That was the early excuse. I've always been interested in Japan, and I wanted to check it out for myself. These days, what do I say these days? Because I haven't met anyone new for real. I think the last new person I met, I wanted a challenge. Yeah, so recently I've been telling people I wanted a challenge in Japan. It's just like, it's a big challenge for me because everything is the opposite of America. I wanted to live in a country that would challenge me. And they were like, whoa, you're so brave. And I'm like, yeah, I am very brave. Okay, anyways, back to the story. Those are just the schools. Oh, yeah, we read that. Why did you come to Japan? Or told, I think you love fish and chips 5 to 6 times a day, 5 days a week for 8 years is so destroying. Back in 2020, one student told me that there is COVID-19 in Japan. Do you know?
Huh?
Obviously. As I wore a mask and sat behind a plastic divider, No, mate. The rock under which I live doesn't get the news. Yeah, some of these questions is crazy. Some of these crazy that I've been asked. But, the student was probably trying their best. Students treat us like NPCs, and we need to teach the same, most basic points of grammar over and over again just for them to not care enough to learn it. Articles being my big one. Ooh, articles. Oh, God. Articles get on my last nerve. Get on my last nerve. Because we have... Okay, before I continue reading this, I get articles like the and do not exist in Japanese. They just... What is going on with my throat? I don't understand. Let me drink a little water real quick. Sorry. So sorry about that. But yeah, so like articles like the and do not exist in Japanese. So I don't even really correct students. At least I correct the newer students. By newer students, I mean newer to like learning conversational English. The ones who've been here a long time, who are like the highest levels, if they slip up and don't say it, depending on like the groove of conversation flow we in, and if it's a really good conversation, I probably won't bring it up until like the end of like, hey, just remember to use articles like and the, because you said this, da 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 da, you didn't use the, but just so you know. But like, actually that's pretty much how I approach when I have to correct all my students. I'll wait until they finish their thought and then correct them. But yeah, that does get it's a little tiring having to constantly say the, and apple, which is difficult when you don't have it in your language. So I get it. Anyways, OP says, we have to learn Japanese counters. Futari san, I forgot how to do the counters. Like, hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, whatever, yotsu, which is basically like one thing, two things, three things, four things. Why can't they learn 2 effing words? Well, like I said, if you don't need it, I understand his frustration, but I also understand. I get it. As someone who basically passively learned Japanese, and I got so frustrated from learning kanji that I took like a 3-year break. More like a 2-year break. I haven't actively studied Japanese in 2 years because of kanji. So I get his frustration. But I also understand learning a different language that is polar opposite of your language is freaking hard. It's so freaking difficult. So I get it. And yeah, why can't they learn 2 effing words? But at the same time, here I am not really learning any counters that has to do with paper or heavy stuff, light stuff. I just don't, because I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need these words to be understood. Okay, that's why I don't really get on my students, because I understand what you're saying. I get it. Anyways, let's get back to the OP. It makes everyday teaching here feel like Groundhog Day. Then there's the never rising wages, whilst everything is rapidly becoming more expensive, which took its toll in the worst possible way last year. Christmas 2023. It turns out was the last opportunity I had to spend with my mom. I couldn't afford the flight back, low wages plus falling in, so I spent it teaching. She died 5 months later. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry, OP. Nearly 7 years of work, and I couldn't even afford to pay for a flight and my rent at the same time. This actually happened to me last year. No, a year ago. My grandma passed away around Thanksgiving, and I couldn't go home. I hadn't seen her in years, and it really sucked because I still had to work. Like, I literally couldn't afford it. Like, I have savings, but the savings is like, am I going to pay for rent or am I going to go home? Because if I go home to the funeral, I have to pay the company because I'm like canceling lessons last minute. You see how I say they take advantage of pretty much all English speaking teachers. Like, it's a great way to get your foot in the door, but make sure you have an exit plan within like a year. Because I've been here 6 years. But this is my exit plan. You are my exit plan. Okay, help a sister out. Speaking of which, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can get up out of here. Real quick. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, OP. So maybe I'm bad at managing my money. Maybe it's selfish to demand more than 250,000 yen per month, which is like $2,000, give or take, in US dollars. So like 2,000 for a month is pretty low. It's pretty low. It's like 1,000 every 2 weeks, which maybe my math might be off right now because the yen is weak. So, anyways, 250,000 yen per month for 8 years of experience, and to combat a 30 to 40% weaker yen compared to when I came here. Either way, I'll never see her again. That's so sad. My wonderful wife, notwithstanding, for me, it means that all the work I've done has been a waste of time. I have no savings, I have no parents, and everything I taught went in one ear and not the other. Oh man, that's really bad. I have been part of this subreddit for years and seen countless posts from young, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed people who ask for advice about how to pass a job interview at Nova, or how other shithole eikaiwas like Hart, I've never heard of Hart, has stolen their wages, and that these companies will hire almost literally anyone, exploit them, and make them want to leave Japan and never come back. One person on here asked how someone themselves with actual qualifications could get a high-paying job in teaching in English. It turned out they had a new bachelor's degree in English literature and thought that would constituted real qualifications that deserved a higher salary than everyone else. Like all the existing teachers in the country have a degree in communications and little else. Honestly, these companies will hire you if they will hire anything that speak English, as long as you're from an English-speaking country with the certain requirements. But they will hire anybody who speak English. I've met some characters at my company who is like, "How did you get hired? Like, are you okay?" Yeah, like if Rocco Elmo's enemy, if Rocco could speak English, he would be hired. And he would just be sitting there, and Elmo would be hating from outside of the club because Elmo could probably get in too. Who am I kidding? Elmo could get in. Elmo could get in the club if he wanted to. That's how much they just don't care. Anyways, I know that a lot of people won't appreciate this. I know a lot of people will tell me a lot of the crap I've endured has been my fault. Maybe the person who did the GABA AMA last year, don't know what that is, will tell me I don't have what it takes to be in this competitive industry. I don't begrudge any of you. All I know is that the English teaching industry in Japan specifically is not for me. Me neither. Using the money I've inherited from my dead mom, I'm starting my own non-English teaching business that will eventually, hopefully, net me more than 250 in a month and let my wife and I afford to raise a family. Good luck, OP. I really hope that you make it. I think this was posted like a year ago, but good luck. I hope everything that you wanted is coming to fruition. I really do. So, anyways, he signs off. Sayonara, I'm done. If you read this whole post, thank you so much for reading. And we have a little edit here. Thank you all. The comments have been overwhelmingly supportive, which I was honestly not expecting. I thought most people were going to tell me I'm the problem. Again, no begrudgment. It's a valid take. 2 things I'd like to clarify is that, number 1, my wife and I do not have any children. We can't afford them, so we haven't had any, but we're both getting older and it may not be in the cards much longer. Number 2, I married her because I love her. She makes every day better than the one before, and after my mom died, I'd have fallen apart without her. I'm sorry if that was not the logical decision you feel I should have made. Whoa, what are people saying in these comments? Let's take a look at some comments, because I feel like people is just eating him alive. Oh no. I didn't take a screenshot of any comments. Okay, well. Anyways, OP, thank you so much for sharing, and good luck with everything. Like, I sincerely, first off, congratulations for getting up out of here, of retiring. Congratulations. Like, I'm right behind you, buddy. I'm right behind you. So, we do have one more story. Oh, this is just like a little tidbit. So it's called, Today a student came up to me asking in Japanese, Sensei, what's Merry Christmas in English? But he was grade 1 or 2, and it's not polite to face palm a student and face palm in front of students. So I just said Merry Christmas was English. His face froze. His eyes went wide and mouth fell open. Brain blown. My guy was out here thinking that Merry Christmas was Japanese. That is funny. Okay, so I guess this is a thread about like the interesting or funny things the students would say. So someone else says or comments, I've had kids say I was speaking Japanese when I would say words like mama, papa, and bye bye. Yeah, no, sorry to bust your little bubble, but those are English words. And I actually think it's so cute when I'm like out about just walking around, taking care of business or whatever, and kids like are riding. This one time, these kids were riding a bike, and so I stopped just to let them pass. And one kid was like, "Sorry, sorry," and I was like, "Oh my god, that is so freaking cute." I don't know why. Whenever like Japanese kids use English, just randomly, not even my students, it's so cute. Anyways, I've had someone commented, I've had first grade kids ask in Japanese if I can speak Japanese, even though I've been talking to them in Japanese since they were 3. Some of them also think I live in America and commute to Japan every day. No, because that actually reminds me of literally last weekend. One of my kinder students, I think he was like 6, maybe 5 or 6 years old. He asked me in Japanese. He was like, Nastasha sensei, can you speak English? Like, are you fluent in English? And I told him in English, no, I can't speak English. And he was like, what? Oh my god. And I'm just like, he was telling his friends like, Nastasha sensei can't speak English. She can't speak English. Mind you, all I do is speak English to these kids. I'm an English teacher. I'm not supposed to speak in Japanese. I sometimes do, just to like make it easier. But for like 98.99999% of the time, I speak English. And I'm like, why would you ask me, can I speak English? On the opposite side, I've had students, young students, older than him, say maybe like grade school, ask me, Nastasha sensei, can you speak Japanese? And I'll answer in Japanese, Nihongo ga hanasemasen. Shaberenai. And that's basically, I cannot speak Japanese. I'm not fluent in Japanese. And they would be like, eh? Like, it's so funny, their reactions. Kids say the darndest things. Anyways, someone said, I taught in China for many years. The amount of times they thought I boarded a plane every day to teach them was insane. No, like, you know how like you're a kid and you don't think, and at least for me, I thought my teachers lived at school. Like, I didn't have the concept that they were people who existed outside of school. So like whenever I would see a teacher outside of school, I would be like, what are you doing out here? You're supposed to be at school. It's Saturday, but you're supposed to be at school. So this actually just happened to me again last weekend. These funny things keep happening recently. On point with the theme, but I was like in the mall walking to the supermarket area, and I had to like go through like the restaurant area first. And so I saw one of my younger students, and he is so shy in the lesson. Like, he's a very shy kid. We saw each other. I was like, wait, that little boy looked real familiar. And I knew who it was. And I was like, oh, that's, such and such. And I saw his mom. I was gonna like wave and say hi, like wave or whatever, but his mom was busy with his little brother. So he looked at me like, and like he kind of like hid into his mom. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna do anything. So I think he just wasn't sure what to do, because I'm supposed to live at my workplace. Okay. So anyway, let's see if we got some other funny stories. Oh no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much all I screenshot. Look, I'm still new to this. I'm not true to this. I'm gonna get better at screenshotting more comments and screenshotting like more stories. I do have a lot of interesting stories ready to go, but for today, we just talked about this one guy's experience in words. This always happens right before I got to go to work. I can't find the words. Anyways, yeah, congratulations to OP in the first story about retiring from teaching English, because like I said, I'm right behind you, buddy. And yeah, thanks guys. If you stuck around this long, I really do appreciate you. You know, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.